It's recorded.
All right, call this meeting of the Historic District Commission to order at 7:04 and appoint Goodrich to a full member. How would you read the call?
Dear Matt, please publish the following public notice or one insertion on Monday, October 24, 2022. Town of Groton, notice of public hearing, Historic District Commission. The Historic District Commission will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, November 1, 2022 at 7 p.m. at the Groton Town Hall Annex, 134 Groton Long Point Road, and virtually via the Zoom platform to hear the following applications requesting a certificate of appropriateness. HDC 22-60, 123 High Street, Kevin Leibovitz, owner applicant, rebuild garage, pin number 261918301980. The Zoom meeting link will be posted to the town's website meetings calendar or can be attended by visiting www.zoom.us. Webinar ID 826-6328-7462, password 153061, or by phone 1312-626-6799. Applications are on file and available for public inspection during normal business hours at the Planning Department, 134 Groton Long Point Road, Groton, Connecticut. Dated this 24th day of October, 2022 at Groton, Connecticut. Todd Brady, Secretary.
So if anyone's interested, there's a copy of the hearing procedures over there. So I'll move to waive the hearing procedures.
Second. Sign in if they want to over there.
Oh, okay. Second.
Second.
Time out on that one or point him? Yeah. So I'll quickly jump in and appoint Ferguson as a full member, and then we're voting on waiving the hearing. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Carried. If anyone's here for pre-app too, if you could sign in over there, that would be great. And we'll start with HDC 22-60, Mr. Leibovitz. How are you?
Well, thanks. How about y'all?
Good.
All right, so a couple months back, I was here.
Say your name for the record.
Kevin Leibovitz, 123 High Street. Better one way or the other. People on TV.
Everything moves opposite.
Yeah, that's about how my life works. I was here several months ago. Put a ancillary, put an apartment in my backyard. My mother since decided she doesn't want to live with me. She wants her own house. So use that. So I'm going back to rebuilding the garage of mine that burnt down April of, I don't know, a year and a half ago or so. So it's gonna be like for like, same spot. It's actually using the same foundation. I have an engineer who checked it out, said it was still fine. And not sure how you want me to go about this, but here's the thing. Bill Burchie put it together for me.
Just walk us through it.
Sure. So here's what's gonna look like. The same exact building that was there, except the wall on the right windows, the windows were eliminated because of the proximity to my property line, and to build when my garage burnt down, his house caught on fire and smoldered and got pretty bad. So it's gonna have a fireboard. Again, I think they'll call it hardy wood, but a fire resistant there. And
Yours, are they all the same?
they're all the same. Just picture the one on the top right, looking at it from High Street straight on, you would see the one on the bottom left is looking at from my backyard. Earlier, the courtyard in their backyard, looking at it from there, and the same with the other. They're just rear profiles. The garage doors, the same. The roof, something down to the triangular window. It's going to be Anderson. I'll see if I can read it. Yeah, exactly which windows. So this is the property plan, my yard, High Street, my house, the garage. The garage is visible from the street, but it's the same exact. It's literally the same exact building being put there. Gonna be, planks, sliding, keep my hands off there. The only thing that might be different than these plans are Bill put down cedar shingles. And, I had the cedar shingles on my home. My insurance company made me change it about 10 years ago when I bought the house. They said it was too big of a they wouldn't insure me unless I changed them out because it was too big of a liability with the house. Those were changed out. So Bill had kept the cedar shingles on this one, but I would probably, if the option were available, go with CertainTeed architectural shingles.
Is that what you have on your house now?
Yes, sir. They match, same color, same style.
And what is that? Is that clapboard siding? Is it, what is it made of?
Cedar
Cedar.
clapboard siding. Match the house and paint the house. It'll also be white. Match. The shutters are wood. The lues aren't maneuverable.
So do you want to do the architectural shingles or do you want to do the cedar?
I would rather probably just do the cedar because if I did the architectural shingles and my insurance company came to me.
You'd rather do the architectural signal.
Yeah. I'm back. Everything's back in reverse for me.
Just moving back and forth, the opposite with what you're saying.
All right, yeah, so,
Could you just write on that?
yeah,
And we'll just make the,
wanna go ahead and get this done.
You said, you didn't say, certain deed architectural shingles to match house. And there was something compared to,
know the color, but it doesn't.
it really matters, it matches, it matches. And we just
Like gray, I think.
and just initial it.
Two.
You have to list them.
All. Well, I can't read this upside down, but list of materials, he said everything was in here for me, so. I'm getting old. Some of the stuff is.
You can turn it over if you want to read it.
Thanks.
Window door.
Casing material, okay, window casings, materials, cement, fiber, trim, and stuff. Factory finish, door casings, same. Are you looking for that, or are you looking for like a brand name?
No, is that, where is that?
That was on three,
Oh, right here.
831,
Yeah, you did. It's right here.
and the,
So it's just, yeah. But, you're gonna pay anyways.
yeah, it's all gonna be white to match the house.
So it's not cedar, boron is a composite material. Lasts you a lot longer than your cedar.
Well, that's, I thought, I wonder if you things with Billy probably just selected what he thought was better, more appropriate for the house for the.
And they're painted. You can't tell the difference.
All right, well, apologies for getting that one. Not knowing that. Shingles for the roof. That's just the inside, the wiring.
Yeah, we don't care about any of that.
Um, the windows, that's just how to install them. They should say.
Can you shift it down just a little bit more on
Schedule is one page.
What was it? Yeah, I slide it over. You guys can have this one on.
Yeah, we're gonna take it.
Oh, all right, well, fantastic. Share light. So it's supposed to be Anderson, probably, I don't even know why. I left all the decisions up to.
A series, but he's got the grills on the glass with spacer bars, so.
That's what we have in our house as well. They just pop in to form the 6 pane. It looks like 6 panes.
It looks as close as you're gonna get.
Yeah, I just had all the windows replaced a couple of years ago, and That was close as gonna get. Not sure if any more of this is just the structure of both of the foundation. Wood. 2x6s.
Back on the camera again.
I brought my wife tonight, great, I'm never gonna live this down.
Maybe she should come and help you.
Maybe she should, she does with most things in life. Yeah, that's just how to fasten it off for hurricane distance. Let me just guess, do you all have any specific questions? I didn't.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, fantastic. You got it, my friend. There you are,
Thank you.
Todd. Do you need me to sign the front too, just so it's
No,
official?
that's okay.
All right, awesome. Gentlemen, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You know how the process works?
Nope.
Well, after we hear all the hearings, but that's you, then we consider your case and we vote. So if you want to hang around for 10 minutes.
Yeah, last time I came, I sat for the whole thing. It was busy, but it was interesting. So I'll just come over here. Thanks.
Okay, so any other questions or comments? Are there anyone in the audience that'd like to speak for the application? Anyone like to speak against the application? Okay, HTC 22-60 is closed. That's it. So we'll close the public hearings. And I guess we'll go to a vote. So,
Motion to
yeah,
Make a motion to approve it for vote. We have to say that.
I think he's
Oh,
got,
got it.
he's got to
Yeah.
introduce it.
so to vote for HTC 22-60, any motions or comments or deliberations?
move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Getting the name. I think you got to do
We'll
most.
still do that? 'Cause we're-
Yeah, name, and then we have to say why we're
Name and why.
denying it.
Yeah, definitely want to, doing the recordings for minutes.
Levinson,
I think it was a very complete application and looks like a good project to me.
Yeah, I vote in favor too, and I agree with what Don said. I think it's full, complete, and if to the extent it matches what was there, so much the better, I guess.
I vote yes, and for the same reasons as Mr. Brady.
I vote yes, because it's a like for like. It was there for a long time and we're just you're basically replacing what was there.
I vote yes for all the reasons they said.
HTC 22-60 is approved.
You get something in the mail.
Thank you. Okay, any pre-applications? Any public communications?
No, I just got notification. I don't know if you want to do our new business or not. Actually, old business. Tom Henry following through with a couple of requests from the commission. So one was for the parking signs.
Yep.
At the Harper Hound. So he sent out an email to Leo on Tuesday, October 25th, basically stating about the complaints, which requested that let's see. The complaints about unpermitted signs, mystically only 3 signs have attached, 2 blades and 1 building mounting sign are not permitted, should be removed. Blade A, same signs are only permitted at the front of the property. You have 1 at the entrance of the parking lot that is legal. The 2 at the intersection of West Main Street and Pearl Street must be removed. Parking directional sign on the building is an off-premise sign that must be removed. The blue P sign on the street sign pole for West Main Street and Pearl Street was approved by the DPW. Please may know if you have any questions. Then he sent out an email again this morning. Please, hello, Leo, please let Pete and I know if you're planning on attending tonight's HTC meeting to discuss the illegal portable signs on Pearl Street. The commission may move forward with an enforcement action in lieu of your absence. And so that we didn't get a response from him after that.
Yeah, I agree. I sent Tom an email Sunday night. They were still present.
And then the other one was for the fence. The HTC certification 2347 on the fence. This sort to
That's the one on 17 London Road.
that's 3 Orchard Lane.
River Lane, yeah.
Yeah. So hello, Anne Marie. The Historic District Commission is requesting an invitation to discuss certification 2347 install fence. There's concern that the final installation does not meet the stipulation, which states owner will adjust picket fence to shield visibility of chain link fence. Would you be willing to discuss with the commission at a meeting during Zoom? And she sent it out again today. Please let Peter I know if you're attending tonight's HDC meeting to discuss the finished fence construction and its relationship with stipulations in the approval. Commission may move forward with an enforcement action in lieu of your absence. She did contact us, but I do not.
She's here.
Oh, there we go.
So
There we go.
come on up.
Do you have questions?
Excuse me.
Anne Marie DeGraffin, right, 3 Orchard Lane, Mystic, Connecticut.
I do not. Does anyone else have any questions?
I do. So Anne Marie, I'm the one who brought a lot of this to the attention of the commission due to
My
So-
neighbor.
a neighbor reaching out. So I remember it distinctly because that was my first meeting. Like my first date, I remember it, right? We were very clear that that fence had to be shielded from public view. And that is not the case.
It's my understanding that the fence was to be shielded up to Scott's, my neighbor on the London Road, all the way up to his shed. And not necessarily beyond that, which is why I did it the way I did. I added the picket fence, so that it went further, but it wasn't my understanding. And actually, I do remember that, there was a comment from one of the members of the board that they walked down there and they wouldn't see it. So it's not like anything was deliberate.
Fair enough. It's some comments by people that are no longer part of this commission felt it may have been deliberate, which is on the record. You can view them. I can give you the dates.
Okay.
So let me ask you this, in the interest of making your neighbors happy and to satisfy what I feel is I would say the rule of what's written in the HCC handbook, would you be willing to extend the picket fence further so that the chain link fence is not visible from any public way?
I don't think it's visible now.
It is. So if I'm coming down the street where the library is, Elm Street, and I'm at that intersection. So my parents live on Irving Street. I live on River Road. That's kind of my route up there.
Mhm.
It is completely visible from that intersection. I'm going to be very upfront with you. It's
You're saying between 17 New London Road and 19 Orchard, that
when I'm on Elm Street,
Now
right here.
across
You can
the
see
street
it.
from you can see it.
that's you. That's 17 New London Road, and that's the house on the corner. So
Right.
they're saying this way. Like when you're,
Yeah, I don't think it's visible there.
I can promise you that if you would like to
I
take a
think you have
walk.
Yeah, I walk that way, and I think you have to stare at it and look for it. I also know that I talked to my neighbor about it, and we were trying to figure out a way to do flowers to cover, to make her happy.
Plantings not under our purview. Any plans?
No, I understand that. But I'm just trying to explain to you what the conversation was. So,
I think it'd be possible to come back with some pictures.
I think in all fairness, it'd be best to come back with pictures and to let Miss Catsini's be here. I think since she's the one who brought it to our attention, she should have the right to say something. I think that's only fair.
that's fine, because
Okay.
I literally did not see the email until the second email came in today. I wasn't
You didn't see the first
ignoring the email from last week.
Maybe just some measurements too, of like how much is visible, because if we're talking about 6 feet, it's one thing. If we're talking about 60 feet, it's a whole different thing. If it is even visible after
Right.
you take the photos.
Right.
So if there is a change, at least we know you're changing.
And I'm not sure she'll be happy, quite honestly. Because even the part that her house blocks, she's not happy about. So. Just to be
That-
honest about that, this completely is, I had the conversation this summer with her, never heard anything else. Tried to go back and forth about planting, because it was her suggestion. And the other thing that also has an impact on visibility. You know, and I'm not saying you're wrong about that. I just think we disagree about it. Is she is supposedly fixing the stone wall, which will raise it up. So that's the other piece. It's not like a big fence. It's black and it's 5 feet.
If she fixes the stone wall and you can't see it, then the issue is mute. If
So I'm gonna go just purely, and these are all great ideas, and you know,
Yeah.
part of my conversation, I'd say with both of you is way outside my purview, it's just as a resident saying, hey, can neighbors be neighborly and come up with it? But that's not, I have no authority over that. What we do have authority on the HDC, frankly, is chain link fences aren't permitted. An exception was made for you. The application says must be blocked from public view. We'll decide if it is or isn't. I say it is, you say it's not. We'll meet on that. And the COA says that picket fence will cover it. So if we're gonna get very, I'd say just down to what's written, it appears there may be a violation of the certificate of appropriateness, possibly. I mean, we're not there yet. I'm just saying, so walls, plantings, I mean, if that's something you and her come up with and agree to outside of here, that's not in our purview, I don't believe, to decide if she's gonna fix the wall, or you're gonna plant an arborvitae's or a plant or flowers. I mean, that's outside of us. What comes out in enforcement of us is the way the COA is written.
no, but if it's not visible from a public view, then she can put a chain link fence anywhere she wants. So all I was saying was if they fix the wall and it blocks the chain link fence in the public view, the issue is mute. If the chain link fence is behind her house, Miss Catsini's house, it's not our issue. But for the section that is visible currently,
Correct, that's our issue. That's what I was saying. Sorry, he explained it much better than I. Yes, so that's,
we're
This
saying the same
window,
thing.
Yeah, we're just
yeah.
focusing on the window that's visible from the road when you're
Correct.
walking up from downtown.
if it's not part of the public view, it's outside of our,
Yeah, if it is visible from the public road, then she has a point. If it's not visible,
Right.
it's. Comments?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a question of your relationship with hers. Did you comply with the certificate?
I understand that. And I have a different understanding of what the certificate required. Based on what occurred at the meeting when the certificate was approved.
Sure, come on up.
State your name and all.
Let me from Yorkshire Lane, Worcester, Connecticut. When the board came forward, we went through this for 4 months, back and forth with the fence. Everybody was here. It was approved. We actually added an extra 6 feet of picket fence because everybody was saying that we could see it from the area that you're talking about. So Scott, the neighbor directly on the side of us, we went all the way to his second storage unit that he added there. So the part that Andrea is talking about is probably about this much. And if you walk it all the time, you should see it too. That when you're walking up, it's basically this much. After that, it's basically behind her house. So when she called in for a coffee that morning to discuss everything that was going on, way back when, she said that she didn't have a problem with it because she was going to add an extra level to her rock fence because she didn't want to see the fence when she looked out her back door. That's basically the issue. She doesn't want to sit on her porch and see a chain link fence. She said it's not nice. It's ugly, is her words. So you're talking about maybe what, 4 feet, not even 6 feet? I measured it. It's not even 6 feet for a chain link to add a picket fence. You have to cut the picket fence. So if the board agreed for 4 months, we were going through this, they agreed. So how are we not going compliant? When in fact, she calls her over for coffee and a muffin to discuss. She didn't like it when she sits on the porch and coffee.
The issue is that the HTC handbook says no chain link fences within a view of a public way. It doesn't say anything about her backyard. So if she has to
Right.
sit on her back porch and look at your chain link fence, that's her problem.
and the complaint that came to me since she came, well, I don't know if she came to all of us, but I'm the one who returned her email, was that she could see it from the public view. You're right, if the complaint would have been from the back porch not my issue. It's not our issue.
But we sent pictures. How many pictures did we send from walking up the street, walking direct, standing there, taking pictures?
The problem is whether we disagree or disagree. The reality is that the handbook says you can't do it if it's visible.
No, I know.
So if it's only 4 feet, my suggestion would be just change the 4 feet. What she can see from her back porch, that's not our issue. Yeah.
Right.
But you know, if there's and that's why I just was saying, take some pictures and take some measurements. If it's a lot bigger section, then it's a different, you know, maybe it changes the discussion, the narrative, but.
And Henry, if I can claim, if it's allowed and all that, I'm willing to meet you. I'm actually off tomorrow. We can look at it together. If that's okay, I don't know if I'm allowed to do that with the.
By yourself, right?
Yeah. All right. I mean, if you want, I'll.
Yeah, he'll be here. I'm in Hartford.
Okay. I'll make sure you have my number before you go.
But don't stress about the stuff you can't see, because that's
Okay.
you.
Our only focus is
No, I
public,
understand.
public. Yep, that's all.
So you're gonna schedule for another meeting.
I would come back in 2 weeks. Or
And maybe invite your neighbor to come.
The problem is she doesn't live here. She lives in Boston.
you can zoom in. I mean, you could zoom in too. and you can-
Yeah, she contacts you once a week. So whenever, as these guys know, so, are we gonna schedule it for the next meeting then? And I'll just tell her she has to be present at the next meeting.
And with pictures. You know, everyone bring pictures. I love pictures.
We'll meet sometime tomorrow and look at it together.
Yeah, well,
All right.
All right.
We're good?
Thank you.
Thanks
Yeah.
very much.
Thank you.
I'll give you my number right now.
So that was old business, that was a
Public
mixture of, so that was public.
You're welcome.
Sharing the public communications from Tom.
Okay. That was public.
I did her.
Yeah, that's it.
And I had the same public communication because Andrea called me, so we're good.
Approval of the minutes from the last meeting. Ted, do you have any comments?
Boards and commissions approves, that's gonna be your job, by the way, you're the minutes guy.
I move to approve the minutes from October 18th. All in favor? Roll call. Again, Levinson,
Aye.
Brady,
Aye.
Goodman, aye. Ferguson.
Aye.
Goodrich.
Aye.
Minutes are approved. Any other old business? Any new business?
We have people here. There are two people in the back.
You just here to observe?
Oh, too bad.
Short meeting at least.
What school thing makes you come to a historic district commission meeting? Awesome. Well, welcome.
I haven't had a coffee.
Totally fine. Well, new business?
Yeah, I'm Ted Keesman. I live at 25 West Mystic Avenue. On Saturday, I walked downtown to have dinner and I noticed that Bank and Bridge has lighted their brew pub sign. And I recall being at a meeting where you guys denied lighting the sign. And so I was curious if you changed your mind or they.
No, I think he just flipped the switch and figured you wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
I guess I have a new business item.
Or you gotta, you want, Peter, you're gonna send them something?
Making notes, get some, look at it more.
So just for the record, you're walking down from the hill towards the bridge, and you're at Bankett Bridge, and you look up, and which sign specifically, so there's there's clarity, that's all. The one
in the gable end.
The one in the
The
gable triangle.
gable that looks like a Starbucks sign and it says brew pub. And it's lit up just like they applied for.
Is it
like
backlit?
Backlit, yeah.
So why
I just
not?
wanted it on the record, so I wanted to clear that.
So why can't Tom?
It's lit up now, I bet, so it's easy enough to get a picture of. I just noticed
Bring it
because
up.
we talked about it. I mean, I
Yeah.
saw their application and I saw you guys say, you said they could light the post sign, which they have. And it looks like-
Well, we also told him he could light that sign if he had directional light
If he did,
pointing
right.
at the sign,
Right.
but not a backlit sign.
It looks backlit
And,
to me.
and what did Tom say at the last meeting? Didn't he say that was not lighting the sign, or he said he would not light the sign anymore?
Tom,
I think he's playing the game with that. So
Yeah.
like, once he's not doing it, then he's doing it. Then he's not doing it, then he's doing it.
Tom leaves at 4:30. So it's,
Not really
Not dark.
no.
couple
So-
of weeks.
So can Tom just send him another letter saying you cannot light it?
Yeah, I mean, we could say we had a complaint from somebody, do you know what day it was?
I saw it lit up
Yeah,
Saturday night.
or it was October one.
On the
Yeah.
ninth.
29th.
What time? Nice.
Approximately.
And where were you going to
6
dinner?
Yeah.
What did you order? Do you have appetizers?
You aren't visually impaired or anything, no?
Was this prior to the cocktail or after?
My wife was with me, she could witness.
But Thank
You have 20/20 vision.
Can you get us documentation about your vision?
Maybe next time you could take a picture with your phone.
No, thank you. That's been a discussion on this board months.
Documented, I'll talk to Tom about it.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, those speakers are still up there too. You never got approval for? That, are the ones up on the side of the building. Is it possible going forward, and I had asked for this before, but Sarah turned it down. Is there a way we could do like by whatever it is, a meeting report that just like, like a AS, whatever report? Just says that these are the issues for enforcement. Just where the status is, it's a short. Well, there's the fence on Pearl, there's like all that stuff.
Vinyl fence.
He's got a couple of those that are in the process.
Like a little Excel sheet that just says,
Where do we
where
stand?
we stand on each of them.
Kind of like a check-in.
I was thinking like the ASP report for, what is it? The AS, what was that one for planning and zoning? I don't, not that detailed, just letter was sent.
30-page document. Dossier, you can go over for 2 hours.
We're on a record tonight. So an hour. Okay, any other new business?
Question.
Sure.
This oversight body work with, I've noticed in town, I walk my dog everywhere. All the historic sidewalks are now being like, trees are being planted there, people are extending their yard out to the road and taking over the historic sidewalks. Do they fall under your umbrella as things that can and can't be done? Because when they do this, you're supposed to walk into the street around their property. And they are part of our historic nature of the town.
No, it's in the handbook, all the sidewalks, it goes into it, even like street material. If you remove the sidewalk.
So
No, they're not removing the
my
sidewalk.
question is,
Yeah, what
Because-
can you,
so can you just, so are they making their lawns grow out
there
over? So
plants?
here's the sidewalk normally, and then there's the lawn growing over.
I am so sorry. Where property line ends in this thing, typically you're gonna find granite blocks that were originally there. That area from those granite blocks from the road were historic sidewalk. We block it, tie it or whatever it may be.
They're actually mostly town right of ways also.
yeah, it's
So
town.
now what's happening is people planting shrubs, taking their front lawns out to that area, planting flowers. So you're forced to walk into the road in all these areas.
Why, because why do you have to walk into the road?
Because they planted trees and
On
shrubs.
the sidewalk?
Well, there's no sidewalk.
They're grass sidewalks. They're historic sidewalks. They're like 4 or 5 feet wide.
Like where? You mean, just,
Elm Street, High, Library,
Park
Peacock,
Place.
you mean like,
Cliff Street, you name it, all the
Park-
Mystic,
Park
all those
Place.
5-foot wide paths. from People's front walls out, those work historic. type of sidewalks.
Or they built, to help, I think to help answer Todd's question, are they putting a shrub on the area and then that shrub is growing out over the sidewalk?
No, they're literally planting on the town right away.
They're planting, they're completely planting shrubs, flowers, putting objects there.
We got the object. We have what happened on Orchard. We put clotheslines, rods at the edge of so we go to lane is very narrow. So you can't, nobody can park because it's basically that black tar that they put. And then from here on, right at the edge, they're planting all trees there. And they put, this particular person put clotheslines and, actually curtain rods. And it's all metal and you can't see it at night. Somebody almost killed themselves getting out of the car, walking downtown. They park up there when there's an event downtown.
Yep.
A kid almost broke his ankle because he went out to get out of the car and she had a black rod across.
Into the right
They're
of you.
restricting the access to the public.
So I'll say something's gonna probably be very unpopular, but it boils down to the town doing something about it. We just went through it with Park Place. So Park Place, that public water access, and every neighbor took over the town right away, planted shrubs, and anybody tries to park, launch a kayak, they say you're parking my property when it's town right away. Went to the town council, they did nothing about it. So
Well, do all streets have a right of way set in, or do some properties actually go to the front?
Properties, well, it's the town, it depends if it's a state road or a town road.
Because,
Town road
like,
would be
my-
set from the center point, it'd be a set distance.
My house on Roland, the property corner is like a foot in from the curb. It's not 5 feet in or 6
Right.
feet in. Only because I had it surveyed recently, do I know that?
That's not the road. Or the
Yeah.
road ordinance.
But Kevin, to answer your question on those,
Center point.
what Park Place did, you can have great requests for the town to have it surveyed and they'll measure from the center of the road out.
It's not really us, though.
Yeah, that's the
Public works.
I mean, if they ripped out like a sidewalk and planted grass.
Yeah, that's what I thought you were saying.
Yeah, that's what I wanted clarification.
Every little more extensive.
Okay, anyone else?
To adjourn.
Adjourned. Thank you.
I like the record.
7:43.
Oh, I forgot. Did we check to see if there was anyone on Zoom?